Hey folks, and welcome to the Hot Sector Report for July 1st, 2007. What we're going to look at first today is a sector that looks to be on the verge of being a short candidate. And again, when we say on the verge, we don't say all right, we're going to go out and short this on Monday morning at 9:30 a.m. because you know what? We're saying it's on the verge, meaning it's showing signs of being overbought. And what does overbought mean? Overbought means at some point it will come down. But the question is, do they push it up another $1 or two? Or, do they push these plays up a little more? Percentage-wise, does it go up another 10% and then fall 20%? Or does it fall 20%, 30% right from here? And we're seeing signs that this sector, and we're talking here about the solar sector, is getting very overbought. We're seeing chart patterns on these stocks that we have not seen in stocks since the internets or the ethanol plays not too long ago, in fact. All right, so again, what we're going to do here is analyze the chart patterns, the technicals, which is our specialty at InTheMoneyStocks.com, because we want to forget about all that garbage junk out there in the realm that everyone else on Wall Street pays attention to. We just look at the technicals for the most part. However, I will just show a few other signals on fundamentals, which some of you might find interesting, to just give a comparison note overall. All right, let's first look at this DSTI chart. Daystar Technologies plays in the solar arena, and the move last week accentuates my ideals of this overbought nature in the solar industry. Alright? And I want to point everyone's attention to is on this DSTI chart, look at this area right here. Alright? Follow my mouse around. Look at this move. Here's Monday. Okay? And look at the dramatic move. Basically, last week we saw a move in this stock from 450 or a little below all the way up to 750. Alright, guys? That's huge. We're talking about 80% move here. Maybe more. Alright? Big move in these plays, and basically in this, it's a micro-cap, small-cap play right here, the DSTI. We're not recommending, we're not even saying that we like the idea of going short here. We're not even looking to go short DSTI because it's a micro-cap, small-cap play, and they can squeeze these up dramatically if too many shorts get in them. So it's very key that we make sure everyone knows that we're not looking to go short DSTI, but I'm using the chart as an example here. All right, again, look at this dramatic move from 450 to 750. Look at the RSI touching over that level of overbought nature. All right, we're also seeing overbought MACD and a possible negative divergence right here in the stochastics. All right, and when you have a higher price point and a lower stochastic, that signals a possible negative divergence in the technical charts that could be very significant in the near-term outlook on this play, meaning we could come back in quite dramatically, maybe back to this 550 level where the 20 moving average is next week. All right, folks? All right. Now, again, this is at the short term, but I want to also talk a little bit about these solar plays as we go to the next chart, which is one of the large caps we're going to deal with, and I really want to concentrate on the large caps here, guys, because these are the ones that we'll look to go short in if we think that a short signal comes out. All right? These are the ones that have had dramatic rises and are beginning to show weakness, and you will be able to borrow shares to short here. All right. The next chart is this chart here, our FSLR chart. First Solar. Look at this dramatic run, basically from late May all the way up to current day, which was Friday. This is Friday right here. Look at this move, all right? We're talking about from $60 to $90. This is a large cap too, folks. You don't see moves in this in large caps very often. And this is what's so amazing about these plays, all right? All right, what I want to show you here is the RSI. When you see that purple area, that means it's overbought, all right? Usually it will come back down to this 50 level and come down to be oversold at some point. But again, look at this move up. Unbelievable. From $60 to $90 on a large cap. We're talking a multi-billion-dollar company here, folks. Okay. What I also want to point out here is the MACD. Look at how overbought the MACD is showing here. Now, the MACD hasn't necessarily flipped down yet. So again, when I say that we're not necessarily looking to go in as a short right away, that's true, because we want to see a little starting to drop. And we might have seen that on Friday. We saw weakness for the first time in God knows how long in this chart. Look at this chart from here. All right? From this point all the way up, you have one small red candle till Friday. That's it. That's called a short squeeze, folks. All right, there are shorts in that stock that got squeezed and squeezed and squeezed. And remember what happens in a short squeeze. When there's a short squeeze, you're going to have shorts that have to buy back in. Well, that causes buying. So not only do you have regular buying in the stock, but you have short covering, which is buying, and short covering pushes the stock up, as does regular buying, which causes more short covering. So you're having a domino effect here of buying, and that's what a short squeeze essentially is. It's just constant buying, 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 and whether it's a fund pushing it up and squeezing or just everyone else, we don't really know necessarily. Okay, all right, again, we're showing, look at the stochastic here. This is a very toppy stochastic, 96. Very rare you get that high stochastic, all right? And it's a possible, again, we're saying it's a possible short signal here on Friday, but we need confirmation, all right? Until we see confirmation, we cannot say safely to go short at this play. But needless to say, this play should come back to $70, $75, $80. Guys, it's a decent gainer on a short play. Very decent gainer here. All right. What I'm going to show now is another couple things, and I want to show how these things have gotten bloated. This solar sector, and I'm going to little break off before we go to the next chart here and just talk for a minute, is just like the ethanol plays, all right? What happened with a few ethanol? There were a few stocks out there in the ethanol arena, and they were very hot because they were the only couple stocks out there, and ethanol was going to be the next big thing. And I like solar. I think solar energy is a phenomenal asset to the country. It's a great thing. But let's keep in mind, there are tons of solar companies going public now. There are tons of areas going in, tons of other companies starting up solar industries now. All right, and that's key to know is what happens when everyone gets in something. Well, guess what? Margins get squeezed. And what happens when margins get squeezed? Everyone's earnings drop. So right now you have projected earnings on these stocks of huge amounts. Returns year-over-year growth of 60%, 50%. Hey, who knows? Maybe 100%. The key is this, guys. In the last couple weeks, we've had 2 to 3 to 4 new solar companies coming out being brought public. All right? And that's not even talking about the ones that are private right now. It's a huge industry that everyone's rushing into, and again, that's going to squeeze margins, which causes growth to slow. Margins are going to drop, meaning earnings will slow as well. So the projections here for the future I do not see as being realistic. Let's go to the next chart here. Analyst estimates. All right, this is a little bit of fundamentals I like to throw in because I know some of you guys really like to understand what's behind these charts. All right, we have next year earnings of December 2008, $1.14. All right, this stock FSLR is trading at $90 a share. All right, that's almost a 90 PE, about an 85 PE, folks. All right, the companies. Let's look at this. Here's FSLR Friday snapshot. $6.5 billion market cap, folks. Okay, $6.5 billion, and they're only going to make $632 million projected next year, and that's with the growth rate as dramatic as it is. What happens when 5 more companies come out and start making solar panels for cheaper? Then everyone has to lower prices, and then margins get squeezed, and guess what? Instead of making $632 million, they start making $500, and what happens to the stock price? It collapses. So again, this is what we're looking at. Now I want to show this too on FSLR. Check this out, guys. These are the buys and sells, all right? Well, guess what? In the last 2 months, there have been no insiders buying. In fact, the CEO dumped 209,000 here, 40,000 here. All right, going down. The CEO dumped another 187 here and 62,000 here. This is almost two blocks of 250,000. The CEO dumped between $60 and $80. All right, so you got to see this. Do you think the CEO's dumping his 500,000 shares here based on the fact that, oh, well, the stock's going to 150? No. Come on, let's be realistic here, guys. The CEO is a smart guy. He knows his company better than anyone else because he's the CEO. And if he thinks this is a good selling price for 500 total thousand shares, which it looks like from this, looking at this here, he sold, guess what, guys? If any of you guys are long, be careful. Be careful. This could squeeze up another $5, but in this range, it is a decent short play on a small position with a decent stop in there, okay? Solar power. Let's do this quickly, all right? Solar power, same chart. All right, this one's even topping pattern. This is beginning to give us short signals right away. All right, you see the negative divergence right here. Overbought MACD. Again, $1 billion in revenue. At least this one has $1.92 projected. But again, remember, these margins are going to squeeze. Again, almost $5 billion market cap here. A PE right now of 169. That's going to change, obviously. It'll be a 40 to 30 PE in 2008. But that's still a 2008 PE, guys. That's a year and a half in advance. And again, let's look at the buy and sells, guys. Look at, there's no buys again. And again, what are we seeing here? Let's see, who's selling? Chief Technical Officer, CEO sold 100,000 here. CEO sold 60,000 here. CEO sold 25,000 here in the mid-60s and 50s here. All right, so guys, again, what am I saying here? I'm saying be careful of these solar plays. The hot sector report this week is dedicated to looking at a topping pattern right here in solar plays. Insiders are dumping. PEs are out of control. Margins are going to get squeezed. Have a wonderful day, guys. We'll see you next week.